A group of 25 young men and women were arrested at the home of Robert Rutajengwa, a resident of Niboye sector, while celebrating a birthday party, drunk and way past curfew time. Local authorities caught them by surprise while they were having fun, and there was evidence they were drinking different liquors. One of these young people admits that there were some that were high on drugs that ended up fighting, hence how the local authorities found them. What happened is that the local authorities found us celebrating a birthday party, and we were many. Police found us, the girls in the bedroom. We were sleeping in bed hiding out. When the guys saw the police, they told us to go hide out so that they would arrest them instead. The guys fought and they were drunk. I've learned my lesson now, and I will not meet in crowds because of COVID-19. These people were arrested and were taken to IPRC Kigali Stadium, where they were detained and fined. Rutajengwa Robert, the owner of the house, had rented out this house to them and admits that he made a mistake and that it's not the first time such illegal festivities have been held at his house during these coronavirus times.
The truth eventually comes out. It's not the first time this has happened. I requested for forgiveness because I didn't intend to do this. I love my country. It causes me shame that I went beyond the set curfew time.
These young people who were taken to the IPRC Kigali Stadium found other people who had also gone beyond the COVID-19 prevention guidelines, which brought the number of people who slept in the stadium on Saturday to 250. Up to 150 of them paid a fine and were let go, while those that didn't have the money were detained. Some of these say they've learned their lesson.
I'll do whatever possible to ask my employers to release us early because they're the reason I'm here, so that we can get home early, and if they don't allow, then we shall ask the government to help us. I acknowledge my mistake and request that I'm forgiven, and I won't be late again.
The fines imposed to the residents are different based on crimes committed. Wearing a face mask inappropriately, one would pay 2,000 Rwanda francs. Not wearing a face mask at all calls for a fine of 5,000 Rwanda francs. Those that go beyond curfew time pay 10,000 Rwanda francs, as well as those arrested in bars, while drivers that are found on the road past curfew time were fined 25,000 and were detained in stadiums, while their cars are to be grounded for 5 days. Kicukiro District Executive Administrator Solange Omutesi says violators of the COVID-19 pandemic guidelines will not be tolerated.
Abo twafashe bari muri iyo nzu bari banyoye basinze kandi biganjemo urubyiruko nacyo kibabaje cyane.
The ones we arrested having a birthday party were drunk, and they are youth, which is what is disappointing, mostly because while they are fellow young people helping citizens to adhere to these guidelines, others are deliberately going against them. So it was necessary that we fine these young people based on the severity of the crimes. I urge citizens to avoid scenarios that lead them to pay these fines, because time will come when it will be compulsory, when there's a big number of people that don't want to adhere to these guidelines. The cabinet resolutions from the 26th of August 2020 put the curfew time at 7 p.m. and no movement is allowed beyond this time till 5 a.m. in the morning, from 9 p.m. as it was before.